Well, the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister say they're working with the families of 3 Australians imprisoned in Iran as observers worry that it could be years before they're released. An Australian couple, both travel bloggers, were arrested in Tehran 10 weeks ago, reportedly for illegally flying a drone. And an Australian academic detained last year is believed to have been sentenced to 10 years in prison. Experts say Australia has very little leverage to try to secure their release. Julia Holman reports.
Jolie King and her partner Mark Firkin were on a trip around the world, keen to explore some of the lesser-known corners of the globe.
If you haven't thought about coming to Pakistan, you honestly need to put that on your list because it is amazing.
The couple hit the road in Perth in September 2017. They travelled by boat from Darwin to Asia and then overland through to the Middle East. They kept followers up to date with regular videos. This is the last one they posted on the 30th of June.
We're now in Iran and we are camped on a nice hill here next to the capital, Tehran.
Tehran, we just arrived. Actually really beautiful.
Just in time for sunset.
Yeah.
Their journey ended abruptly when they were detained, reportedly 10 weeks ago, just after this video was posted. Today, Mark Firkin and Jolie King's families released a statement confirming their arrest and saying they hope they'll be safely home as soon as possible.
These are always very sensitive cases.
The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, says the government is supporting the couple's families, as well as the family of an Australian academic who was arrested separately months ago and reportedly imprisoned for 10 years.
We will continue to pursue these matters in the interests of the Australians who are at the centre of these cases.
It's not clear why the Australians were detained, although there are reports the couple may have been arrested for flying a drone, which is illegal in Iran without a licence. Hadi Gayemi is the Executive Director of the Centre for Human Rights in Iran. He says it's likely they're being held for political reasons.
The pattern has been such that it's very clear it's a part of Iran's foreign policy.
Professor Shahram Akbazadeh is an expert in Middle East and Central Asian politics at Deakin University.
The Australian authorities really don't have much to work with apart from making representation to their counterpart in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which, mind you, is different to the judiciary and the security agencies who are actually holding Australian nationals in detention.
He says the Australians could be detained for years and that their families should appeal directly to Iran.
Probably what could advance the cause of these individuals is for the families to put a human face to their stories. Putting that human face to the story could make an impression and make a difference.
He also believes that the recent commitment by Australia to join the United States' efforts to patrol the Straits of Hormuz has brought Australia's relations with Iran to a low point.
Australia has now thrown its weight behind the United States in the Persian Gulf.
Today, the Foreign Minister Marise Payne says she speaks regularly with her counterpart in Iran about the detained Australians.
We have no reason to think that these arrests are connected to international concern over Iran's nuclear program, United Nations sanctions or sanctions enforcement, or maritime security and the safety of civilian shipping.
Hadi Gayemi from the Centre for Human Rights in Iran says it may take an international effort to release the Australians.
This is really becoming a major crisis for many countries who are dealing with Iran. I wish these countries would band together and especially use the UN as a forum to gather support from their allies within the UN to pressure Iran to end this practice, this hostage-taking practice.
Hadi Gayemi from the Centre for Human Rights in Iran. Our reporter there, Julia Holman.